How's it going, everybody? I'm the BTC Reaper, and my goal on this channel is to teach you how to reap the rewards of trading, whether the price is going up or down. Over on the total for the daily, we did have a double top possibility, but if we jump over to the hourly to look at, we did attempt to break down right around where we said we could. We did get a breakdown, but we met support, retested our pattern, and continued forward. That shows why you never get the full move on most patterns. And it also shows why you want to watch for that potential upside. So if you're hoping to buy in, you would have wanted to watch here where momentum was starting to gain strength, our VWAP was starting to push forward, and our money flow was starting to push up. When all that started to happen, price action did start to run forward, and as that VWAP maintained bullish momentum, our momentum continued further, and our money flow is trying to gain strength. But with that VWAP being a little indecisive and not very strong right now, we could see our momentum round away, and then that VWAP would break with momentum and bring money flow lower. I would watch, we need a stronger high. If we can't get stronger highs on this VWAP, we could start to round away and push lower. So we will delete this pattern. We won't really go much into the higher time frames because they're all going to be dependent on if the 1 hour can continue forward. Otherwise, we're going to continue to see what we've seen for the last few days. Right now, this does look positive, but again, watch for that yellow wave, our VWAP, to get some stronger highs. If we can see stronger highs with that VWAP, momentum would remain bullish and money flow could try to push forward. So that is on the little micro. On the 1 hour, 2 hour, money flow is trying to push up, VWAP is remaining bullish, and momentum wants to head forward. But if that 1 hour VWAP gets a breakdown, we will see this start to round away, and we will start to pull back, potentially getting lower highs with lower lows. So I would watch. We want to get a higher high here in order to continue a bullish push forward. Otherwise, we could get rejected by this golden pocket once again. So I would exercise caution and watch that pocket very close with the way the 1 hour looks. Dominance is ticking forward. Bitcoin did go up more than our altcoins, so that does show how Bitcoin can run up with dominance, but this isn't really indicative of if Bitcoin will run up or not. It's more helpful for if altcoins are going to run up against Bitcoin. You want to see that if we're going to get an altcoin season. We are pushing up. We did break our descending channel to the upside like they typically do. So that was positive. RSI is pushing up. VWAP is bullish. Momentum is heading up with a green dot. And our money flow does want to push forward. So over on futures, now we'll get into some more of the breakdown here. We do not have very much price action as futures just opened not that long ago. But we do have a gap above, or a gap that we made when we ran up. I would exercise caution because remember, just like the gaps that we filled when we came down, we could push forward, reject this area, and fill our lower gaps. We wanted to fill these lower gaps before we made our run up. RSI is pushing up. Stochastic is running forward, VWAP is gaining strength, that momentum is trying to push up, but as that yellow wave is struggling, that VWAP, if it can't continue to run forward, then that momentum, our blue wave, could start to taper away, and we could see our money flow remain in the red, becoming more bearish and resulting in further sell-off. So I would watch. This run up really isn't too great, and it's not too sustainable. We do have that gap below us. We did create on this 4 hour, so having the gap on those higher time frames does give it that higher probability to play out. And remember, they do have an 80% chance to play out. RSI is pushing up, Stochastic wants to push forward. VWAP is trying to break toward the bullish territory, so if that VWAP can continue to run up here, our momentum could bounce and push money flow further. However, if that VWAP gets a lower high, then we get consistent lows and can't break back above that neutral. We would see the bears regain control. We are right around the top of where our trend line would be for that double top possibility. So over on the 2 hour, RSI and Stochastic are trying to get a run up. Our VWAP does have a higher high. We do have a strong wave here, so that is positive, at least for the short term push up. Momentum does want to push up, and the money flow is trying to gain strength. I would exercise caution around that 65.5 if we do not fill that gap. We do have gaps above us right around, I believe we have one around the 66. Here's another one right around the 64. So we could make that run up, hit that gap at the 64, and that's where we could be rejected. If we get that rejection there, that doesn't leave us that gap to fill later. That doesn't give us the potential to help bounce if we do pull back and fill our lower gaps. So in that case, I would exercise caution. Ideally, we reject here, drop down, fill our lower gaps, and then fill that higher gap at a later point to get a continuation run afterwards. Stochastic does want to push up, RSI is trying to push forward, the VWAP, that yellow wave, is trying to run up, and momentum does have a double green dot. So if that VWAP can remain in the bullish territory, we could see momentum continue forward and money flow would push up. If we can see that sustain for several hours, we could see a continued run up. But again, with the gaps below us, I would worry about the run up sustainability. So over on Bitcoin for the daily, we did get our breakout of our triangle after running forward. So this was supposed to be positive. But again, we didn't get fill those lower gaps on futures, so we could try to see futures bring us lower yet. I'm going to delete all this as we've made most of our play on that break forward, and there is a lower probability of continuing with those gaps below us. RSI and Stochastic do want to push forward. VWAP is bullish, momentum is gaining strength, pushing the money flow into the bullish territory. So if VWAP can remain bullish, momentum will continue further, and money flow will continue to gain strength, helping push price action above the 63,120. If we can break and hold that resistance area, that would be very positive for us, at least in the short term. Stochastic does want to round away. Momentum is running up. VWAP is bullish. Money flow is trying to break up as that momentum is bullish with our VWAP. So if that VWAP can remain bullish here, money flow could break up, and that could try to strengthen the 4-hour and the daily. Again, I would just exercise caution. Stochastic is pretty flat here. RSI wants to run up. VWAP is in the bullish territory. We're just above that neutral though, so I would watch. It could easily break through and push lower. If it does break through and pushes lower, I would watch for lower lows with the lower high. Then we could see a bearish trend, bring momentum lower, and cause money flow to reject. However, if we can remain above the zero, solidify a higher low with this higher high, we could try to get a bullish trend that would keep momentum higher and push our money flow into the bullish territory. That would help strengthen those higher time frames. Again, just exercise caution with our gaps. They don't have to fill, they just have an 80% likelihood to fill. So over on the 1-hour, RSI is starting to curl off. Stochastic looks a little indecisive, so I would exercise caution. Momentum does want to round. The VWAP did break for lower highs, but we bounced off the neutral and created higher highs. They are very weak highs though, so I would exercise caution. These waves don't really have much to them, so they could easily be invalidated and end up breaking down if we do invalidate. You want stronger waves like one back here or the wave back here. These little itty bitty waves are easily invalidated and you can break down away from them. So over on graph for the daily, we are trying to push off into our pattern, so this could be positive, providing total continues forward. Remember, total is the market cap of all the altcoins besides Ethereum. Stochastic is pulling back. RSI does want to push up. That VWAP is trying to break our neutral. Momentum is gaining strength overall, so watch that VWAP. We do have a lower low. If we reject for a lower high, we will see momentum reject, bring money flow lower, and we would see a rejection of this channel, possibly pulling back and breaking down. Over on the 4-hour, we do have several retests and several bounces, so this could be positive, providing the rest of the market is bullish. Stochastic does want to run up. RSI is pushing forward. VWAP does technically have a higher high with a higher low, so that could be positive. Momentum wants to push up, and money flow is trying to gain strength. Watch the lower time frames. If they can remain more bullish, we could see a run forward here. Remember, total doesn't look too bad, so total could push up ahead of Bitcoin. We could see Bitcoin lose since it did gain ahead of total today, and then we could make a decent bounce forward. So we are running up here. Stochastic is starting to pull back. RSI is running forward with our Stochastic. VWAP is trying to remain bullish. That is positive. We have a higher low. If we can continue to get decent waves like this one here, we could see momentum run up and money flow could start to break bullish. However, if that VWAP does reject here, then we get a lower low. That's where we would see further bearish momentum. Over on the 1-hour here, we are pushing to the top, our resistance area of our pattern, so I would exercise caution. Stochastic and RSI want to round. VWAP is bullish. We had lower lows with lower highs, but then we broke back above the neutral. That is giving momentum the potential to curl forward, money flow could gain strength, and we could start to run up. I would watch very close if our VWAP can maintain this bullish push. If we can get higher highs with higher lows remaining above the neutral area, we will see momentum push up and money flow will gain strength that would push those higher time frames forward. Over on the I can't get the word out right now. Over on Ankr for the daily, that's what we're looking for. We do want to push up. We are right at our resistance area, so we want to break up and hold above if we're going to get that bullish scenario. Otherwise, if we get a rejection here, it's likely we would see that bear flag break down, and then that could push us down, our bear pendant, sorry. Stochastic does want to round away. RSI is pushing up. Our momentum does want to round away. We do have a green dot though, as that VWAP is trying to remain bullish. That VWAP is currently starting to struggle, so I would watch. Over on the 4 hour, we are still within our triangle, so we got most of our breakdown. Then we tried to invalidate it by pushing up near that support area. This could be positive. Again, we want to break and push higher if we're going to invalidate our bearish scenario. Stochastic does want to round. RSI is starting to run up, so if Stochastic can remain bullish, our RSI will help push price action further. VWAP is running up, momentum is gaining strength, and money flow is running due to our VWAP and momentum pushing higher. Over on the 2 hour, Stochastic's pretty maxed out. RSI is starting to get pretty maxed out as well. VWAP is remaining bullish, momentum is pushing forward, and money flow is starting to gain strength due to the VWAP and momentum starting to push up. So if they can remain more bullish, we will see that money flow go from being red into the green. Momentum on the 1 hour is trying to push up. VWAP did break toward a lower low, but we did bounce off that neutral, and we do have a higher low. So we have this low here and then a higher low. If we can get higher highs from here, we could try to trend forward, see momentum run up, and money flow could gain strength and help push us forward, that red wave. However, if that yellow wave, our VWAP, does break down, momentum will reject, money flow will pull back, and we will see a rejection. This is a critical area. We need to bounce off this and continue to hold if we're going to get that run up near that 34.85. Over on XRP for the daily, I can't read today apparently. Over on XRP for the daily, we are getting another attempt to break toward the top of our channel. That's why we didn't delete this yet, because it's not quite invalidated yet. We haven't really gotten a strong push down. Stochastic is pretty flat. RSI is just as flat. VWAP does want to break that neutral, but it's struggling. Momentum is trying to push up, and money flow does want to gain some strength. Over on the 4 hour, we are attempting to break away from our channel, so if we can break and hold, we could see a run up. If we do get an early run up, that could push us near that 51,619. Momentum does want to push forward as our VWAP is getting a higher high. That could be positive. If we remain above this zero, momentum will start to gain strength and push money flow further up. That would solidify the 4 hour and the daily. Stochastic and RSI want to run as well, so we do look pretty decent here. Over on the 2 hour, we are overall trying to run forward. We are struggling to break through, but we are currently breaking up. If we can hold, unlike back here, we could see a continuation. However, if we break back into our channel, it's likely we would invalidate and break lower. Stochastic does want to round. VWAP is in the bullish trend, pushing momentum higher, and money flow does want to break bullish, but I would exercise caution. If that VWAP solidifies a lower high here, then we break that neutral and make a lower low. We will see momentum reject and bring money flow lower. So I would watch the 1 and 2 hour very close. The 1 hour, we do have a pretty decent retest. We need to follow this with several strong green candles. If we can start getting strong green candles here and break our 48, we may have the potential to run further. Stochastic does want to run up. RSI is pushing forward. VWAP is bullish. Momentum's pushing up. And money flow is struggling to remain bearish. So that is positive, as that VWAP can continue to push up and give momentum further strength, pushing money flow over into the green and helping solidify those higher time frames and push us further. So what you want to watch is that VWAP to create a bullish trend. If it creates a bullish trend, money flow could become green. If we hold there for several hours, we could start to strengthen those higher time frames. Finally, for ALGO for the daily, we are near the top of our channel, so I would exercise caution. Stochastic does want to pull back. RSI is pretty flat, VWAP is starting to pull back, momentum is rounding, and money flow is pretty flat overall. I would exercise caution, we're not very strong on the 1 hour or 1 day. Stochastic here does want to push up on the 4 hour, RSI is pushing forward, VWAP is running up with momentum giving us strength, and the money flow is in the green trying to push forward, so we do look positive here. If that VWAP can sustain this bullish push, momentum will break up and money flow will remain in the green and start to strengthen the 4 hour and the daily. Over on the 2 hour, stochastic is pretty flat, RSI is just as indecisive, momentum is running up, VWAP is remaining bullish, but we have lower highs, watch for lower lows. If we get lower lows and break through the neutral, momentum will round and money flow would break down. However, if we can stay above the neutral here, we can see momentum remain bullish and money flow would continue to push higher. Over on the 1 hour, last but not least, stochastic's dropping away, momentum is rounding with a red dot as that VWAP does want to break down after gaining a lower high. That does signal that we could break into the bearish territory with the yellow wave. If that happens, momentum will round away, drop down, and make money flow reject. That would overall make us reject the top of our channel and possibly break our 1350 if that bearish momentum continues. Thank you for watching tonight's video. I hope you have a great night.